Hey guys, what's going on? It's Matty Collins here, back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out the new iPhone 13s and specifically talking about the photo and video improvements on the cameras and talking about if it's a money grab or if it's actually going to change the game for you. So without further ado, roll that intro. So if it's your first time here, guys, my name is Matty Collins, and on this channel we talk about everything filmmaking, photography, with an emphasis on gear. Specifically in this video, we're going to be talking about the price of the iPhone 13s, the new photo and video features, and the cameras on them, and then we're going to be finishing with the display. So if you could right now take a second and lightly tap the like button, that would go a long way and help more than you know to help my channel be seen. All right, first up, let's talk about the two new cameras on the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini. The iPhone 13 mini comes in at $699 US, whereas the iPhone 13 is $799 US. Let's talk about the first camera that you're gonna be shooting with most of the time. It's a 26mm focal length. It has an aperture of 1.6, which just means that it lets in more light, so it's better in low light situations and things like this. It's a bigger camera sensor, and it's a 12 megapixel sensor. The second camera on the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini is the ultra wide, and this has a 13mm field of view, which is more similar to a GoPro. It has about a 120-degree angle on it, and it has an aperture of 2.4, which means it doesn't allow as much light in the sensor as your main camera, that 26mm we just talked about, but it still is 12 megapixels, and it will be cool for different perspective shots. Focusing a little bit more on video now, the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini have a new mode called cinematic mode. And essentially, this is portrait mode for video, but it can allow you to tap the screen to autofocus on a subject, and then everything else goes blurry. You can tap back on another subject, and then what was just in focus will now be blurry. This is also called rack focusing. You can do it manually, or you can have the camera predict for you when they think the person is looking at the camera, or if I turn my head, it will go blurry and then refocus when I look back at the lens. The iPhone 13 and 13 mini have brighter screens and deeper blacks, so it'll be a better experience for viewing photos and videos and things like this, but it still only has a 60 Hz refresh rate. Okay, now moving on to the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max, which are respectively $999 US and $1099 US. So what's different about the cameras on the iPhone 13 Pro and Max? Well, there's 3 cameras instead of 2. One of them is a telephoto lens, which is a 77mm focal length. This just means that you have a narrower field of view, so you can actually punch in closer to your subject with still a high quality image and no loss. It has a 3 times optical zoom on it, so this means that you can go past the 77mm focal length and still not lose a whole lot of quality. And what we know about 77 or about 70 to 100 millimeter is that it's most flattering for the human face. So this will be really good for portraits. The other 2 cameras we won't talk about a whole lot because they're very similar to the ones that you'll see on the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini. However, they did say that the wide field of view on the iPhone 13 is going to allow for 92% better low light performance. I don't know what that means. But anyways, they are stressing that on all these cameras, on all these new phones, there is going to be better low light performance in both video and photo. On the ultra wide lens of the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max, there is a new feature, and it's called macro feature. Macro photography is when you go really close to a subject, like right up to my hands to see the detail, and it will still focus. It can focus up to 2 centimeters of a subject. And in most cameras or a non-macro lens, when you go really close to a subject, like they showed leaves and all the detail on the leaves, what will happen if it's not a macro lens is it'll just be blurry because it won't be able to focus. One other thing to know is that all these 3 lenses on the iPhone Pro and iPhone Pro Max do have night mode. So that will be good if you are struggling in low light situations. Just remember that a stabilizer or tripod is probably better in this mode. And the last thing about photography is that they introduced new photographic styles, which to me was a little bit gimmicky. There's 4 preset ways and styles that you can shoot your photos, but they're essentially just custom buttons. So it will remember your settings for next time, and that wasn't that cool to me, but I thought I'd bring it up. All right, really quick, let's talk about my impressions. Most of the things I thought were actually quite cool, and there were a few gimmicks thrown in there just for marketing, but I thought they were decently priced, the iPhone 13s. The upgrades were good enough. I will be buying one, and I'm not sure if I'm going Pro or the Mini or just the regular iPhone 13, but I will keep you guys posted on that. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments below if I missed anything. And that about wraps up the video for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please consider subscribing. And if you made it this far, you're a real one. So that's it for today. Matty out. Peace.